Today I'm going to be doing a video on what things that you should consider before buying a car seat. First thing I'm going to say that you should think about is your budget. How much are you willing to spend on your car seat? Is it something that you just want a cheap thing because you're not going to be using it that much, or is it something that you're going to be using for a lot, so you want to go more on the expensive range? The next thing, once you've sorted out a budget, would be the age range. The two most common car seats that you can get would be 0 to 15 months or 0 to 4 years. The next thing would be if you would like ISOFIX or not. ISOFIX is basically a bolt that's in the car. The car seat will have two things that you slot in and it bolts down to the car, so that if you're in a car crash, it's not just held in by a seatbelt, it's technically a part of the car. Car seats are forward and rear facing. So a lot of car seats you can swivel and some are just set. But they suggest that you should have your baby rear facing, so facing towards the boot of the car, for up to 15 months. This is because of the neck strength in your baby. So once they hit 15 months, their necks will look stronger. I'm sure you're aware when a baby, their neck is all limp and they can't hold up their own heads. So once they hit 15, they've had long enough to sit up and be very strong. So if their neck is not strong, then obviously whiplash is going to be a big deal. And if they're rear facing and there is a car crash, they're kind of cocooned inside as opposed to the car crash being hit. So like I've said, the rear facing is really important because of their neck strength and things like that. What you want to decide, do you care if it has to go rear facing and forward facing, or would you like that add-on side thing? So for my partner, he really doesn't care and he thinks it's a waste of money. But for me, I found it a little bit more difficult to get our daughter in and out now that she's getting a bit bigger. So I wanted one that turned to the side as well when I was putting her in and out. And I thought when she gets to the age of 4, it's going to be a lot easier than having to pick her up and put her down and things like that. So the side element was quite important to me, but to my partner, not at all. How many cars will be using this car seat? Is it a car seat that you're going to be moving from your partner's car to your family member's car, friends' cars, things like that? Or is it a car seat that's going to stay in that car and never leave that car? Once you've discussed how many people will be using the car seat, you can sort of find out how heavy car seats are, the size of the car seat. Is ISOFIX going to work in all of the cars? Because a problem that I faced with ISOFIX is everybody that I knew had ISOFIX, so it wasn't an issue whether we were going down the ISOFIX route or not the ISOFIX route, but getting it in and out of, for instance, my mum's car, the type of car that she had, her material on her seats covered the ISOFIX, so it was very, very difficult to hold the fabric and slot it in because you had to do it both at the same time, and it was very, very difficult. Whereas for my car and for my cousin's car, who we also used a lot, was very simple and it was done within a minute, if that. Car seats are different sizes, so it's not a one size fits all. All different brands are all different sizes. So we had the eye-level Joey, which is a lot smaller than the car seat that we got next, which was 0 to 4 years. This one only goes 0 to 15 months, but it was actually more difficult for my partner to drive than it was when we got the bigger one because of the way the ISOFIX was positioned. That leads on to my next point, the style of car seat. So like I said, you have the 0 to 15 month ones and the 0 to 4 years ones. They're the main ones that we are really looking at for babies. So the 0 to 15 months is obviously this cocoon type. You can take it out, you can carry it, you can attach it to prams, things like that. And whereas the 0 to 4 months one is something that would be staying in the car, you don't really want to take it out too much. It would be more of a pain than anything. With the 0 to 15 month one, most of them you can attach to prams. So the pram adapters can go from like 20 to 50 pounds. So that's something that you should also think about. They do not come with the car seat because obviously all prams are different. Most of them are, if you go by the brand maxi-cosy, those adapters work for most prams, but sometimes you have some difficult ones that don't do that. So make sure you do research before you buy and if it will attach to your pram or not. How much are you intending on using this? So is it something that you want to spend a lot of money on because you're going to be using it every single day and you're going to be doing a lot of driving? Or is it something that's going to be once in a blue moon, you're not going to be going very far? There's sort of things that you need to consider when you're thinking about how much that ties in with the budget really and how much you're going to be using it. Something that I would say if you are driving on the motorway a lot, which we do, which is why we went down the expensive routes for our car seats, is some car seats have white straps here. So they have this little white bar like this, and that means they're only tested up to a certain amount. So some of them are 30 miles per hour, some of them are 40, some of them are 50. So if they have those white straps, it means they are not tested on the motorway, like at motorway speeds. So for me, that was a massive deal that we did not get one that had white straps, because yes, they may be okay at that speed, but God forbid that they weren't and something happened because we didn't buy a car seat that was safe for the motorway. ISOFIX isn't for everybody, because if you're, like I said, changing it around into different cars and things like that, you're not doing much motorway driving, stuff like that, it could be a waste of your time, a waste of your money, and you might end up buying more ISOFIX bases and things like that to put in different cars, which become ridiculously expensive. A car seat that we were looking into getting was a car seat where the wheels pop down and it turned into a pram. So I know a lot of people have this. I will link it down below so that you can check it out. It's a good idea, and it was the route that we were going to go down because we wanted one of the small ones first, because we wanted her to be rear facing, but we didn't get it because we do so much motorway driving and we're on the motorway sometimes 5 days out of the week, and it just wasn't a safe and practical idea for us. But it is something that I would have been happy for my mum, who lives in London, to be driving around with her in, because I know that they can be safe, but for us, ISOFIX was just the better option all around. Lastly, something that not all car seats have, it's a relatively new thing, is this little pop-out side bit. Now that is if you have a side-on collision. So the side-on collision, that will break the collision to the best of its ability and essentially dent the car rather than the car being able to dent our car and go into our baby. So that is a very, very big important thing for me, because like I said, motorway driving, just driving in general. So in a nutshell, we got the 0 to 15 month one first because our one laid down. So I read a lot about infants dying because they were in a car seat for too long, and when you can't breathe, it doesn't matter if you're in there for an hour, 2 hours or 5 minutes. If your lungs are crushed, you can't breathe, and you're not going to be able to last, especially for a baby, longer than a minute. So the safety of the car seat was so important to me because, like I said, 1, we do a lot of motorway driving. 2, I had the intention to put it on my pram. And 3, she also comes to work with me. So when she was very, very little, keeping her in a car seat was just a lot easier than getting her out and all of these things. And she was not a big fan of her pram. So that car seat was the best option for us because it laid out flat, and the suffocation element of it really, really scared me. And I think I did a bit too much reaching on it. So yeah, that's a good bit. So if you're worried about that, or you spend a lot of time in the car and things like that, the opening out bit would be good for you. Or if you're adding it onto your pram, look for one that opens out. The Cybex has a lay down option and it has a sitting up option, and it obviously turns. So that's the reason that we went for that one, because it goes from 0 to 4 months. So it was a little bit silly of us to get one that was the 15-month one and then that one. But I really, really liked the Cybex one, and had I not have wanted to take the car seat out of the car, I would have gone for the Cybex one from the beginning until she was 4. But I was adamant on getting one that we could take out of the car because I wanted to add it to the pram, and I wanted to be able to carry her into work with me because that was just the easiest option for us. So comment down below which one you really want to get, or if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to help you to the best of my ability. I'll leave a couple articles about the best car seats of 2020, 2021 if they have one out, and all different brands that I think that I would have bought had I not have bought the Joey eye level or the Cybex 360. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope this gives you a little bit more intel on what car seat you want to buy, and just gives you a couple of things to think about before you go and spend lots of money, because we ended up spending £500 on 2 different car seats, and that's a ridiculous amount of money. So really and truly, we should have just gone with one, but I'm happy we did get the 2 because I liked all of the features that it came with, and I liked that it could add onto my pram and I could take it with me when I left the car. But if you're just looking for one, that is the best one, I believe, on the market at that price range. Bye!